All right, welcome back and thank you for checking out another episode here on the McHugh Insurance Group YouTube channel. My goal here on this page, as always, is to continue to try and educate you, the customer, so that you can better navigate your insurance decisions and hopefully save you some money and better protect yourself in the long run. Today, what I want to talk about is two things. Why your insurance rates continue to go up even though you're not having any accidents or claims, and what you can do to try and help offset those increases. Okay. It is an extremely interesting market. And for people who don't, pay as much attention to it as I do, it's hard to really wrap your head around why the hell your rates keep going up when you as an individual aren't sending in any claims and the insurance company continues to bank off of you. But there's one really important thing that a lot of people don't keep in mind. And that is the fact that insurance companies are businesses. Their goal is to make money, plain and simple. And so when you sit back and you get that increase every 6 months or every year on your auto policy, and you're thinking, well, what the heck? I'm a good customer. In insurance, the sins of a few are paid for by the masses. And what does that mean? That means that every jerk out on the road who's a terrible driver, for every 10 claims they're submitting to your 0, you're helping offset the cost of that for the insurance company. It's plain and simple. And so as far as the why rates keep going up, well, if we look at the industry as a whole, not just you, the individual, or you and your family, you can see it every time you go out on the road. People are absolutely terrible drivers, right? You've got people on their phones, people doing makeup, people eating burritos from Chipotle, you name it, whatever it is, they're doing it in the car. Everything except driving, okay? As a result, the frequency of auto-related accidents are through the roof. You can't go and leave the house, ever without seeing some sort of accident, whether it's around the corner from your house or on the highway, whatever it may be. It is all of the time, and it is becoming a huge issue for insurance companies because on top of there being more accidents, the next challenge is what used to be a $250 fender bender that Joe would pay out of pocket for is no longer $250. Think about your rear bumper. If you have a car that was made in the last 10 to 15 years, it probably has 3 cameras in it, 4 or 5 sensors in it. And if somebody just taps into that so lightly, you're looking at $1,000 to $2,000 repair. So now you're talking about more accidents, but also now the cost to repair or the cost to replace in those accidents is through the roof. And that is only worsened by the fact that now, obviously, as I mentioned, the cost to fix those vehicles is through the roof. But now more than ever, people are suing for any and everything they possibly can. So when you tap into that person's bumper going 3 miles an hour at the stoplight, they get out with a neck injury and a back injury. And I'm not here to say that every time that happens, it's bogus, but now it has become more often than not the case. You can't go to work in the morning. You can't go on vacation without seeing a billboard on the highway in every single state that is for an attorney who has made millions and millions of dollars off of those cases, right? They've got a system in place. They figured it out. They know how to manipulate juries and judges and how to get the most money out of insurance companies. And so now, all 3 of those things, you have people are worse drivers. They're getting in more accidents. Those accidents, whether it's vehicle related, are costing more to fix. If it's bodily injury related, they're costing more to pay out. And when you keep in mind that insurance companies are businesses, they have no choice but to raise rates. And if you own stock in any of those insurance companies, you'd want them to raise rates too so that your stock performed better. And keep in mind, that's exactly what they're doing. Most of these big insurance companies are publicly traded companies that have no choice but to do whatever they need to do to make money. Okay? And just a quick statistic, as of this video, of the top 10 largest auto insurance companies in the country, in 2022, only 2 of them were profitable. So keep that in mind, right? So I'm not saying it makes it any better, because trust me, I'm somebody who I like to consider myself a good driver, but I still get those increases, right? Now, what I do want to now share with you is what can you do to try and offset those increases? And there's a few things to consider, and it requires a little bit of effort on your end. But if you're not willing to put in that effort to try and help yourself save some money on your program, well, then I don't really care to hear you complain about your rates going up, because it doesn't take much. So 3 or 4 things that you can do to help yourself. The first one is every year, maybe every 18 months to 2 years, have an independent agent shop it for you. Whether you work with an independent agent now or not, when your renewal comes around, reach out to an independent broker who can access 10, 12 carriers, as many possible carriers in your state as they can. They will go out and they will shop and they will present you, or they should present you with the best option for you. That way you don't have to go and piece together quotes online and find it from different 1-800 and online carriers. You have a broker who's doing that for you. And by the way, they don't charge you a dime to do it. Let the insurance companies worry about paying them. But use independent brokers. They are so extremely underutilized now, but they are the best way to buy your insurance, because they can give you a perfect look at the market and let you know all of your options in one fell swoop. Okay? That is number one. That's the first recommendation I could ever make, or always make, is to go and try and find better options that way. The second piece is to do that frequently. Do not just wait until you get a huge increase. Do it 4 to 6 weeks out. As soon as you get that renewal stuff in the mail from your current carrier, get in touch with a broker, have them start working on it. Carriers offer advanced quote discounts, and things like that, it's worth your while to start taking a look at it early, okay? The next piece, and there's a little more to this, but yeah, and maybe I'll do another video on it down the road. But if you have a renewal increase that comes in, or your rates are continuing to go up and you want to do something about it, the easiest way to try and find yourself some savings, whether it's with the same company or with a new company, is to consider making some sort of changes to your insurance program. Now, I'm in no way ever recommending to lower your coverages, meaning your liability coverage, or to get rid of rental car coverage, or to take off towing coverage. I'm never going to recommend doing that, because that's not the point here. You don't want less coverage for less money, right? You want the same coverage you're getting and trying to make it a little bit more affordable. So a couple of things you can consider when you're looking at your program, and some adjustments that you can make. Number one, and the biggest thing I try and stress to people, is your deductible. Right now, if you have a $100 deductible or $250 deductible, insurance companies are going to get the most rate that they possibly can out of those policies, because the likelihood of you submitting a claim is very high, versus somebody who has a $500 or a $1,000 deductible is going to get a little bit more favorable pricing when it comes to their policy. So if you're getting an increase and then you look at your policy, you say, well, I only have a $250 deductible, I guarantee you're going to see a noticeable difference if you were to up that to $500 or $1,000, okay? Another piece when you're looking at your program is think about what your carrier offers. If they offer, now every insurance company almost offers some sort of telematics option, right? Whether it's a phone app or something that goes in your car. I know you don't like the sound of it. I don't either. And personally, I don't use it. But if your rates are getting out of hand, this is the way things are trending. This is going to be your most viable option moving forward. Some of them are just in there to track your mileage so you can pay as you go if you don't travel a lot. Other ones will track how good of a driver you are, whether you have hard acceleration, hard braking, hard turning, etc. But that is, most companies now are offering at least a 15% discount just for signing up for it, plus up to almost 40% discounts if you have a good driving record as a result of using that product. Okay, So we talked about higher deductibles, see if they have some sort of telematics or safe driving club or program, something like that. And then the last piece, this is a no-brainer, but so many people forget about it, is if you're not taking advantage of a multi-policy discount, you are totally missing the boat. And now you may say, well, I don't own a home, but most people will have some sort of renter's policy. And that's enough to get a few ticks off of your premium for your auto policy by combining them with the same carrier. Okay. If you have a boat, if you have, jet skis, power sports, other different pieces that you have insurance for, if your company can insure them all under one policy or bundle them together, they are going to incentivize you to do that by offering better discounts. Okay. So listen, let's put a bow on this. And the first thing you need to remember is rates are going to continue to go up. There's nothing you can do about it. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it just is what it is. The second piece is you still have a lot of control over what happens with your individual rates. You just need to take a little bit of time, put in a little bit of effort, and you'll see that by programming changes, by taking the time to do due diligence and have other agents quote it for you, that you will stumble upon better options even in this current market. Thank you again for checking out the video. Be sure to like and subscribe so that you can see more content and ways to help yourself when it comes to your insurance.